I promise it is okay to not do everything. Start small, start at the source, and that is really going to be the key to being successful in those long-term goals. January 1st, you are still the same person, so this is a growth journey, not a perfection journey. Hey y'all, so today we are going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. We all have them, we all have those goals, and it has been proven through studies that during the New Year's, one, people have more goals, and second, the coming of the new year brings people a different type of motivation, just a greater motivation for accomplishing the goals that they do have. But we all know that once that 1 month, 2 month mark hits, it can be really difficult to keep up with those goals that we set at the beginning of the year. So today we're going to be talking a little bit more about that and how you can make sure that you accomplish all of the goals that you have set for 2023. So there are 3 main reasons why the goals that people set don't end up coming to fruition. 1, unrealistic expectations. 2, setting goals that you aren't truly passionate about. And 3, not fully understanding the difference between motivation and discipline. Let us be so for real. January 1st, you are not going to wake up and become this new, completely disciplined person. That's just not how it works. But you might have a lot of motivation. You're still the same person in the new year. You may be motivated, but we all still need to learn discipline. So what is the difference? Motivation is the general desire or willingness to do something. Discipline is training oneself to do something even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is essentially a muscle. You literally have to force yourself to get up, do that thing until it becomes a habit, until it's something you do consistently, until you have that self-control to make sure that it happens whether you feel like it or not, rain or shine. So how do you get to this point where you're disciplined enough to actually keep up with your New Year's goals, even when that initial motivation dies off? First, take small steps. This ties into finding a goal that you're actually passionate about and that you actually really want to have for yourself. If you set a goal that maybe you saw on the internet or that you thought was really cool for someone else's life, but isn't something that you actually really want for yourself, it's going to be really hard to force yourself to do it. But find something that might be a long-term goal for you. For example, if you want to be really healthy long-term, those types of goals that you really want for yourself are much easier to force yourself essentially to accomplish. And remember, take small steps. So maybe you have that goal of going to the gym every single morning. It's okay to start small. Maybe you start off thinking, okay, in the morning, I'm going to stretch for 15 minutes every single morning. Every morning, I'm going to do a half-hour at-home workout video. So kind of start small, taking out that need for like traveling, getting dressed, going somewhere, whether it's like car or train. Just start at home and really start that habit of just waking up earlier. And as time goes on, you progress, you add things. Every morning, I'm going to wake up, do my home workout, and make a protein shake. Then next thing you know, every morning you're waking up, getting dressed, driving to the gym, and you've built that muscle, you have that habit, you have that discipline, and now it's just a part of your routine. It's a part of your life. And again, this can be applied to anything. So even if you're working on being nicer, I know I'm working on being a more patient and understanding person. Start off small. Don't start off saying, okay, I can never be mean to someone again. And of course, that's a great goal, but start off small. Start in your mind. I'm going to not think negatively about other people. I'm going to learn to catch myself when I start thinking negatively. Start small, start at the source, and that is really going to be the key to being successful in those long-term goals. And remember, motivation wears off, so it is 100% okay to set those smaller goals for yourself and to set those realistic goals for yourself that can actually be practically accomplished. Also, it is so important to find accountability, whether it is your friends, people that you met on Instagram that have similar interests to you, whether it's your family, whether it is your alarm app on your phone. Find some sort of accountability. It is so much easier to keep up with your goals when you know that someone is going to be checking in on you, making sure that you're actually following up with what you say you're going to do. And it just adds a little bit more pressure, honestly, to the situation because I'm showing up for myself, but I'm also showing up for the people around me. Secondly, setting goals that you are passionate about. Again, like I said earlier, are you trying to wake up in the morning and have this big routine for yourself or because you saw the girls on TikTok doing it? Think about that. Really think Is this a goal I want for myself, or is it just something that looked really aesthetic? And of course, sit with that. Like, of course, waking up early is good. Being disciplined in that way is good. And I would hope that you can find that motivation and the desire to have that for yourself truly from you. But if your desire for that is because you saw someone else do it, then that's just not enough. Even we learn in the Bible, like, don't covet, because when it comes from that source of coveting, of wanting what somebody else has, it ends up being poison to yourself, and it can lead to a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-hate. That's why even a lot of times social media can really lead people down a really dark path, because it can lead you to really want somebody else's life, and that causes you to forget to love the one that you already have. So when you're setting these goals, like, remember, just think, what do I actually want for myself? If you see something someone else has and it looks great, like, think like, you can want that for yourself, but you can't want that because they have it. And I think that's a really important thing to differentiate with. And not only will that lead to just a lot more joy for you yourself as a person, but it'll also lead to a lot of intrinsic motivation, which is super important. Similarly to that, don't lose weight just because you know that person wants you to. Don't get that job just because you know your parents want you to. Really figure out, one, like, what is God's plan for my life, and how do the desires that he's given me line up with that? How do I work to make that happen? And really just take that time. I'm learning to do this as well. Reflect on the goals that you have set, pray about them, seek counsel, like, check, like, is this really something that I'm being called to do? Is this really something I have a passion for? And make sure that your goals really revolve around that center. Along with that, learn to prioritize your goals. We can't do everything at once as much as we might want to. So an example of that, I love working out. I love being fit. It's fun. It's nice to be a strong person, but with school and internship and my part-time job and creating for you guys, like, sometimes there's just not time. Sometimes I need to take a little bit more time to sleep in. And so because of that, I'm still, make sure that I'm healthy, but my fitness is not at the peak, and that's okay. I'm reprioritizing my goals, and so you might have to do that in your life as well, because you can't do everything to its full extent. Some things just need to be balanced out. So make sure that you do that, and learn to not be guilty for not being able to do everything at once. We aren't superheroes. We are humans, and we're not even superhumans. We're just humans. So it's okay. Like, you can't do everything at once, and it's not the end of the world. Just really figure out, like, what do I want to do the most? In 5 years, what am I going to be so happy that I invested more time into now? And put that first. Just, put it first. It's okay. I promise it is okay to not do everything. And again, as y'all can see, has been a theme throughout this. Learn that difference between motivation and discipline, and seal it into your mind and into your heart. For example, a few days ago, I was not really feeling motivated about this podcast. Today, I'm feeling a little bit more motivated in this moment, but even this morning, I wasn't really feeling it. And so motivation goes up and down, left and right, all around. Like, you cannot trust your motivation. Why? Because motivation essentially is an emotion. And while we do learn from our emotions, we feed off of our emotions. For example, if I'm feeling super unmotivated to record one day, I might wait until a day where I'm more motivated if I have that time, just that I have more of that, like, intrinsic energy behind what I'm doing. But also, if I don't have that time, that's where discipline really comes in, where even when I don't feel like doing something, I have that habit, I have that self-control to say, okay, well, I know I need to get this done, so we're going to do it. And that can override wherever your motivation is. And every day you might not be, like, super disciplined or even have the energy to just make yourself do those things, but it's more about consistency than every day. So if your consistency is 3 days a week, if your consistency is once a day, like, whatever your goals are, like, just stay consistent. And the best thing is when you grow that discipline muscle and you're having a super motivated day, like, and those two things, when that comes together, is just, like, amazing. The perfect recipe for success. And like I said, y'all, let us stay so for real. January 1st, you are still the same person. So this is a growth journey, not a perfection journey. As y'all have probably heard a million times, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes progress. So stay disciplined, keep working. I promise you have your goals in the bag already. And as y'all can see, like throughout this, the really core piece of this is discipline. Discipline is what is going to really make the difference between you accomplishing your goals or not. So here are just a few things that you can do to help yourself stay more disciplined. First, making a to-do list the night before. So this is super helpful. I actually made a reel up here on a easy DIY to-do list where you can just write out your goals for the day before. At the end of the day, erase, do the same thing for the next day. And this is really helpful because it just gives a vision for what that next day is going to look like. So you're not waking up in the morning, not really knowing what you're going to do that day. You have kind of already made a plan. As y'all have also probably heard, not having a plan is planning to fail. So you need that plan in place to really be able to get through that day well. And we all have different personalities. So if you don't like that strict schedule, even just writing down like your main goals for that day, even if it's just 3 of them. I do like 8 a.m. this, 9 a.m. this, 10 a.m. that, just because I have a lot going on and it helps me to organize. But if that is not you, that is okay. Just write out, however you want your goals to look like for the next day, however would be best for you. Second, setting alarms throughout the day. I know some people who do this, and this can be really helpful if you are somebody whose mind can just begin to wander. If you are a creative, if you're can just start getting distracted by other tasks, setting those alarms can help bring yourself back to like that moment and what you need to be doing. And again, just purposefully making yourself do things that you don't want to do. So for example, if I have a few extra minutes and I have extra dishes in the sink, making myself do that, even if I don't feel like it, just again, helps to grow that discipline muscle. And being disciplined not only in those main goals that you have, but also in the things that happen in your day-to-day life. And back to that community, another thing that really, really helps with discipline is staying around people who are also motivated, focused, and trying to be disciplined themselves. You really do become like the people that you surround yourself with. And it's honestly just inspiring and encouraging to be around others who have similar goals to you. I mean, if everyone else around you really is not trying, then it's hard to make yourself try because it just doesn't feel like it's necessary at all. And even if it's just one other person, again, even if it's someone online, like a friend that you meet on Instagram, a similar creator, a person studying a similar thing, like just find at least that one person that you can kind of see, okay, they're working hard, I can work hard too. And that really helps a ton on this journey. And I think also, like if you're in the USA or another first world country, like I think also us even having the opportunity to be doing this is a gift in itself. The opportunity to be able to pick what we want to do on our day-to-day lives. Like we don't have to wake up in the morning and work from sun up to sundown just so we can have food on the table. Like some of us do, but also we have some of that freedom to really enjoy our life. So ultimately, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this video, you're likely part of the small percentage of people who have control over their routines, their careers, and their day-to-day life. This is a gift. This is literally a gift from God. And please take advantage of it. Use it to the fullest to, of course, better your own life, but also to impact the lives of others, to impact the lives of the people around you, to serve your family. Like having the opportunity to pick what you want to do on the day to day, I think is something that I realized I take a little bit too lightly, because there's a gift in it. Like it really is giving you the freedom to make impact in your own life and in other people's lives, and you don't want to waste it. So hopefully that just brings some urgency behind making us being more disciplined and motivated people who accomplish their 2023 goals. Not only about us, it's also about the people around us. It's about the people who don't have the opportunity to choose what they want to do with their routines and their careers. It's about giving opportunities to the people who don't have them. It's about using our resources to educate others and to take advantage of the life that God has given us. So ending this out, let's go into a few verses that can help you to be encouraged on your 2023 goal journey. Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. So at the beginning of the year, you crave, you want things, you're motivated. But as you can see through this verse, diligence must follow. Diligence has to follow to see fruit. 1 Corinthians 9:27. But I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. You can know all of the right things to do, you can know all of the right things to say, but if you aren't disciplined, you're just not going to follow through with that. And that can end up really disqualifying you in a way. You end up not being that person that you want to be. So that discipline is essential to being the person that you know that you are meant to be. And last for today, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. If you are a believer in Jesus Christ, you have received the power of the Holy Spirit and therefore have received a spirit of power, love, and self-control. This means that you already have all of these self-control in you that you need. It just takes that discipline to really tap into it, uncover it, and bring it to your real life. And with that, you have to believe that you already have it. Don't hold on to the irresponsibility that God already paid for. Don't hold on to the laziness that God already paid for. And again, God loves us through that journey. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. But on the other side, like, remember that truth. Hold on to the truth that irresponsibility, that laziness, and I'm preaching to myself right now, but God has already paid for it. So we have that self-control within us. We just really need to tap into that truth of God to uncover it and to walk that out. And God will help you. Obviously, He's already equipped you. He's given you resources like this to help you and inspire you on that journey. But y'all, I am so excited for 2023. January is already almost done, and I feel like God is doing something in this year, not only in each of our individual lives, but even spiritually. I just feel like there's a different atmosphere. It just seems like everyone is really stepping up their game, and I'm really excited. So y'all, remember, with your goals, set realistic expectations. It is okay to take baby steps. Make sure that your goals are something that you're really passionate about, something that you want to have for your own life, not something that you feel like somebody else is impressing onto you, but really make sure that your goals are things that you feel called to, that you feel are for you. And lastly, remember to keep in mind the difference between motivation and discipline, and to just train yourself to do those things that you don't want to do, and to learn to have that self-control and that consistency, and to make those habits that are so good for your life. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you want to listen again, even to just the audio version, don't forget this podcast is streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and other podcast listening services. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments down below, or you can DM me on Instagram at Jaazy_Araya. But yeah, y'all, I am excited to see you reach your 2023 goals. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Stay blessed.